Hey everybody, this is Immersed Games again, showing off the next update for Tyto Online, which Caroline is really in charge of. I just sort of sit here and look at the computer screen.
You're useless.
We're doing more of the updated tech for the stream, trying to up the production level a little bit. We do apologize for being late. That was part of the issue to begin with. So please let us know if there are any technical issues. Hopefully there are not, and you guys can just let us know about that. But Caroline, I will let you take it away, barring that there's anything crazy going on.
All right. So here we are in the student district. I would like to go through 2 quests with you today and give you a sneak peek about something that's coming soon. One thing that you will notice about a couple of the quests today, one in particular, is that there's a couple of placeholder items here, and you will know them when you see them, and I will point them out, and it will be a learning experience for everyone. So, our first quest is with Espethian Mike Columbus over here. He has been standing here for years, I think, but he finally gets a quest and his own table full of pea plants. Now, you will notice that there's something not quite right about Mike Columbus here. In that there are 2 Mike Columbi.
And also Mike Columbi, that's good.
There are 2 Columbi
like
here. So the reason why this is happening is because in our game, when we put an NPC into the world, and an NPC is anybody that you can see with like this little Tyto logo over their head here, it is not placed directly into the world, like say this bench here. An artist had to put this bench here physically. But the NPCs are not actually there. We tell them the coordinates, and then basically the computer figures out where to put them. But while we were finding those coordinates, we put a Mike Columbus into the world, so there are 2 Mike Columbi who are standing on top of each other, which is a mistake that does happen occasionally. So now you've gotten to see this horrible abomination that we have made, but we'll have him all fixed up by Monday, and he will no longer be Spider-Man. So the one who is moving is the true Columbus. The one who is just still is the placeholder Columbus. Anyway, you'll also notice that he has this lovely table full of pea plants here. And this pea plant has a lovely new texture that our texture artist Kelly Yo did. And it's looking very nice. And of course, these pea plants are covered because we don't want cross-pollination or some kind of invasive species situation to happen in Espeth. So let us begin our quest with Mike Columbus. Greetings, friend. If you don't mind me asking, would you happen to be a Tyto student? Yes, I'm a Tyto student. Then you must have a great love for science, as I do. Science rules. Then we are of the same mind in this matter. In any case, I rather hoped that someone would come and visit me today. If you'll allow an old man to ramble for a bit, I should very much like to tell you about one of my personal heroes. Sure, tell me about your hero. His name was Gregor Mendel. He was born in 1822 and passed away more than 300 years ago, yet the impact of his research is still felt today. Remember, it is 2142 in this game, so it was a little less than 300 years ago from today. You see, it was known for quite some time that traits are passed down from parent to offspring. This can be seen in plants, livestock, and even humans, though no one yet knew of genes or DNA. The basic principles were not lost upon them. I see. Tell me more. Mendel was able to understand the rules of genetics by carefully studying pea plants. Oh, is that why you have all those plants behind you? Correct! I am recreating Mendel's study. Mendel bred pea plants together and made careful notes of how their traits were passed down. He kept track of their bloom color and position, pod shape and color, pea shape and color, and height. Before Mendel, it was assumed that traits were passed down randomly, or that they had about a 50% chance of appearing. Mendel found that this was not the case, and proved that it was because of dominance and recessiveness. How did he prove it? In one case, he bred 1 pea plant with white blooms and 1 pea plant with purple blooms. In that era, it would have been assumed that half the resulting plants would have had white blooms and half would have purple blooms. Instead, all of the plants had purple blooms. I've recreated this experiment with my own pea plants. Historical reenactment is a hobby of mine. Why don't you see if you can come to the same conclusion that Mendel did about his pea plants?
Such
Okay.
a dork.
He's not a dork. He's
him and his doppelganger.
He's a lover of history. So
yeah,
here
apparently.
are the pea plants that have appeared. They are not underneath glass, but don't think about that.
I'm really glad his talking just sort of worked out. I didn't realize that you just go into the dialogue scene for him and it just worked, because I never tested that, so that is awesome.
Mike is much taller than most NPCs. we won't look at him.
Yeah, he's considered an adult.
Yes, he is an adult character. There aren't very many in Espeth, but he has his own mesh. He was a part of a Kickstarter reward actually, and he is a bit taller than the player characters. So when you see him in the doll map, his height is reflected there. So anyway, let's use our scanner to determine what these recreations of Mendel's experiments prove about the traits of the pea plants. So, a white pea plant.
Oh no.
This is actually a recessive trait because remember he said that when he bred a white pea plant and a purple pea plant together, we'll say that 3 times fast, all of the babies were purple, which means that purple must be the dominant trait. And we have a purple pea plant right here, so we'll say that it was a dominant trait. One of its siblings was
So,
white.
a question from a dumb person coming in. We won't tell you who it is, but so say I didn't remember what he said.
Well,
I gave the wrong answer there.
well, you would be in luck because I am going to change the directions on the pea plants. I'd had time to change one of them, but I did not have time to change the other today. So I will make sure that directive is a little bit clearer when this quest goes
Okay,
live
cool.
on Monday.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So there he is again. I did your thing. Quite so. You made short work of that experiment indeed. Of course, it took Mendel years and years of painstaking record-keeping before he was able to come to the same conclusions. The most important part of Mendel's research was indeed his record-keeping. By carefully noting the features of each generation of pea plant, he was able to mathematically predict which features would show up when. If you'll humor me for just a bit longer, I should like to see if you're able to do the same. I am so ready. I shall ask you to fill out a Punnett square then. I think that this is the most expeditious way to show your stuff, as it were. I'm going to say what does expeditious mean, even though I know. Expeditious merely means quick or efficient. I really ought to curtail my sesquipedalian tendencies whilst in conversation. That is, I ought to use smaller words when I talk to people.
I don't like Mike. He's not a people person.
He's a words guy.
He needs less syllables is what he needs.
He needs fewer syllables, Kevin.
Oh, man.
Fair enough. Tell me about this Punnett square. I am going to breed 2 pea plants together. Both are tall, and both have heterozygous height genes. What can I expect their offspring to look like? I'll fill out a Punnett square and tell you. And we know how to fill out a Punnett square, and it's going to be timed. So, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it quick. So, alright, we've got the genes here.
Oh, right.
Let's flip them around. Got them.
Did we not turn that sound down?
I guess not. Well, I did it in enough time. I got my 3 out of 3 stars, so good for me. Splendid work. You've a quick mind for genetics, my young friend. So, Mendel became famous for his work? Sadly, no. Mendel's 8 years of experimentation and research was ignored by the scientific community of the time. He died as he lived, simply and without renown. It was not until the turn of the 20th century that several biologists stumbled upon his work and verified his findings. After his death, he was lauded as the father of modern genetic research.
Good for him.
At least he was recognized eventually. Indeed, and I'm sure he always had plenty to eat thanks to all those pea plants.
I would get tired very quick if all I ate was pea plants.
He really loved peas. A lot. Thanks for telling me about Mendel. All right. Well, thank you, Mikes, for telling us about Mendel.
Thank you, both Mikes.
If you look in basically any book ever about genetics, they will all mention Mendel and his pea plants. And he actually, it was really painstaking, the research that he did, so he must have been a very patient man. Pea plants can self-pollinate, but some pea plants, in order to make sure that his experiments were trackable and he wasn't going to mess up his data, he had to make sure that they wouldn't pollinate themselves. So he would manually use scissors to cut the pollen-producing parts off of his pea plants, and then he would pollinate them with a paintbrush. So imagine getting like a paintbrush and teeny scissors to do your experiments. For 8 years he did this. But
yeah, they didn't have video games back then.
They did not.
I'm not even sure they had.
They had like.
Oh no, there's a person here.
A person.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, our next quest is it's a little bit different, but we're going to go to Espethian Rowan. Whoa, it's you! I can see that you need something from me. Don't tell me. Oh, do you need a refresher on heredity vocabulary? I can totally help you out. I know it's a lot to remember. Quiz me. Sure, come and get me when you're ready. So this quest is a little bit different, as I said, because it is not a go out and do things quest. It's a prove that you remember things that you've learned so far quest. Heredity is very vocabulary heavy. There are a lot of words that we've been throwing at you players, and I have faith that you're able to remember them, but we thought it might be a little bit helpful to have
Why there's so many
course.
people?
Because we're such a popular game.
Can you wave at them? Wave at Greystar. Oh no, you were way too slow. That was wait.
I need a hotkey for emotes.
A macro.
Anyway, so let's do this heredity quiz. Okay, so match this vocabulary word with its description.
Oh man.
Kevin, do you want to do all of these?
Yeah, I'm taking in this UI real quick.
There are quite a few cards down here, and these are all
okay.
of the words that you've learned so far, plus definitions of those words.
I have not seen this thing in the bottom right, this question mark. What is that?
Which question?
Is that a help assist me thing? Is that new?
It is not new, actually.
okay.
For most quests, there is a hint. There's only one hint. You only have to do one thing for this particular argument, which is match each vocabulary with its definition. There are a bunch of numbers here because you have to set a hint for every answer that you give, and there are more answers than there are hints to give, so it looks a little bit funny there. But for most of your argument quizzes or argument phase. Argument builders, you can hit this question mark and it'll help you give you some hints and clues on how to best convince the NPC.
Okay.
So let's start doing some stuff. DNA is...
Good.
What is DNA, Kevin?
It's a ladder.
One of these things.
It's not the stuff on the far right?
No.
There are no other options? It's just
there are other options, but I will expedite your
I'm going to
process.
say
it's one of these.
a code.
A code? A code containing the two alleles present in a gene.
That's my guess.
Oh, yeah? Okay, well, you're wrong.
Yeah,
you're wrong, Kevin. Well, I can help you out. DNA is the hereditary material that controls
That was my second
every trait.
guess.
Well, it should have been your first guess. So that's what DNA is. There we go. And we'll find... You can also do a description and then the word if you want. Sometimes it doesn't quite make grammatical sense, but I thought it would be annoying to have the definition and then the word and then the definition in that order. So it'll go either way. But a code containing the two alleles present in a gene. Do you have an idea, Kevin?
Well, it's not gene.
It's not gene, you're right.
Because gene's in the thing, and it's not an allele because allele's in the thing. Genotype? That's my guess.
Okay. Well, it was a good guess.
Yeah.
Tubular. How about another?
No one says... Okay. Rowan?
Rowan can say whatever she wants.
No one says tubular.
She says tubular.
I say rad. I don't even say tubular.
Well, she says tubular, so get with it.
I thought this was the future.
It is
a
the future.
phenotype is... Wait, is it only one of these three options?
Yes, I'm helping you here
I
by
see.
restricting the answers here.
I'm going to say the way that genes manifest or appear.
And I know that this one is correct because remember from the genotype-phenotype quest that we did, a phenotype is a physical trait.
Yeah, I remember that. That's why I guessed that.
Awesome. Thanks, Omar.
Thank you, Omar.
All right. And I'll blow through these last ones here.
Yeah.
An allele is an alternative form of a gene that may be dominant or recessive. Yeah, it is.
Man, it takes a a lot to persuade Rowan.
A Punnett square is...
No, it's got to be to the left, yeah. That one, the graph.
Yes, and this is a little bit too many words, so I'll have to make that a little
Just
shorter.
say a graph.
A graph.
Yeah.
And a section of DNA responsible for a certain trait is...
A gene.
A gene.
Man, I'm learning so much.
Good. Well, you shouldn't really be learning. You should be confident in the stuff that you already know. Heterozygous. What's
But I never did the quest.
You've watched me do them. It's the same thing.
That's true. Oh, geez. I'm going to say different. Yeah, okay.
That's totally right.
I know Latin.
And,
no. Oh
Looks
wait,
like
you got complete though up there.
it's meant to go through all of the vocabulary words. I've just set the minimum score too low.
Oh,
but
I see.
there are some other ones that you can do. But yes, we have
Gotcha.
completed that. Awesome work. You're getting really good at this. Come back tomorrow when I can quiz you again. This is a daily quiz, so whenever you log in, if it's a new day, you can take the quiz again with Rowan, and she will help you out. So, yeah. So, the next thing that I want to show everybody is a little sneak peek. And you know what? I'm going to take the fast way. It's up in the academy.
Yes.
Do you know what it could be? It's
The
in
cheats. Is it Hilo?
It's not Hilo.
Man,
I have to find Hilo.
it's never Hilo.
Hilo ran away, and now I have to put him back. And
Wait, really? Hilo's not here anymore?
yeah,
He's not even outside?
I gave him his own walk
Oh,
path,
no.
and he was like, nope. And yeah, I
He's
have
been
to.
replaced by Sparkle.
There's Sparkle, and there's Dr. Hiroshi Tetsu, who is, I think that we may have met
Is that
him
the old
last
Draken?
time. It is the old Draken.
Okay.
I'll change I'll change it to the new one as soon as we
Yes.
have that. So, Hiroshi, enter Drakonarium. What?
That's not the Hiroshi I know. Oh yeah, we
So-
were going to preview this.
Yes, so this is the Drakonarium. This is where
Wait a
you
minute.
will go to,
Does the Eggman have an afro?
yes, it does. This is the Eggman, who is
Oh,
a placeholder NPC
No.
that I made because I
No.
had to. He
You can't
gives
tell
you
me
eggs
that.
for testing.
You can't tell me you're going to destroy the Eggman later.
I won't destroy him. He'll still be
Look
an
how happy he
NPC.
is to be here.
He's a very happy.
It kind of looks
happy
like he
man.
has a mustache.
It does kind of.
Like a pencil mustache.
He's pretty excited.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is the
Eggs.
Eggman, which we put here to give playtesters eggs so that we
I
could.
can't believe
this.
you're taking the Eggman out.
I'm taking him out. He will be replaced by Dr.
Hey, the
Yoshi Tetsu, who is Dr. Hiroshi's twin brother. But for the time being, I had an opportunity to name a character the Eggman, and I took that opportunity. And I
Oh, there's no
apologize
music
for
here
nothing.
either. I just noticed that.
Oh, you're
It's
right. There is no music here.
crazy silent in here.
Oh, we ought to fix that. Anyway, this is the Drakonarium, and it is where you will be hatching your drakons and breeding them and keeping them and
Oh yeah, the ocean's behaving weird. Don't look out there.
yeah,
Don't look out there.
There's
Don't look at the
nothing.
ocean.
There's placeholder assets in the ocean.
We
But
fixed
yeah,
that, right? Yeah, we
yeah,
fixed that.
we fixed that. It
Or
just
you
needs a
fixed that.
push. But yeah, this is our Drakonarium here, and I'm excited to be able to show this to you. And we are inside of the academy. This is actually what the academy looks like from the inside. We had to build this part of the level, though. If you go into this, if you somehow cheat your way into the student district and are able to access this area of the academy, it will not look like this. We're on a separate level here. But yeah, I wanted to show everybody what the Drakonarium looks like. Got this little pond for
Whoa. Their feet not going. I'm glad that the footsteps just works there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why is their feet not going through the water?
I don't know.
Is there's
It's-
collision on
yeah,
that
it's
there.
possible that there's collision
Yeah.
on the water.
I can't believe you're
it up.
taking away the Eggman. I really can't. Like I've been introduced and raptured by this NPC, and you're like, oh no, that's not real.
Well,
The silence is killing me too. Diamond, can you play some like
It's
sweet remixes?
silence for the Eggman.
Remixes of our OST.
This is what your incubators look like. You can right click on these, and this is where you will store your eggs. And this is where your drakons will mate or breed together.
Oh shoot, really?
In a very in a very tasteful and classy way.
And the lighting will be much better in here.
Yes.
I promise.
Yes.
Ow.
We just got
Um,
a Slack message in our ears.
I think everyone may have heard
Oh,
that.
really? Oh,
yeah,
cool. Well,
yeah.
now we all
I think
know
they
then.
hear all the system sounds. So apologies for that. If you did hear it, if you didn't, that'd be great. I was gonna say something else. Like this place is already updated insofar as we're concerned, but also I noticed there was a load screen into here. Is the plan later that we're going to instance this within the student district, or is this going to be a separate map? That's more of kind of a question for me, but I'm wondering if it's like instantaneous when you enter the Drakonarium, or is it like going to be separated by a load screen?
It will be separated by a load screen, as far as I know.
Okay.
The way that you can get into the Drakonarium is you can speak to Hiroshi. We may also make it so that you can go partway up the stairs in the lobby of the academy, and then it'll prompt you the way that the transit centers prompt you. Oh, hey, music. The way that the
think
transaction
Dyna
from you,
did
it'll
that.
ask you, do you want to go to the Drakonarium, and then you can go here. But because there will be so many Drakons that belong to you, there'll be quite a bit of data to store. So for the time being, when we do release this, you'll be alone in the Drakonarium the way that you are in your custom room. Eventually, we will allow you to have Drakons as pets, so you can show off some of your favorite Drakons. But for the time being, it'll all take place here, and your Drakons will be yours and yours alone to enjoy. But I think that you'll still really like this update, and I'm glad that we could finally show off the Drakonarium, which is just a tip of the iceberg of what we've been working on for Drakons. So
Yeah, for sure. I'd be excited to see the actual Drakons as well. Still got a bit of work here, but I am excited to see it get fully realized. But yeah, was that all you wanted to show off for today? The 2 quests and the preview of the Drakonarium?
Yep, that was it. So
Okay.
that's all that we've got for today's live stream. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
And bye, Eggman. He's waving goodbye to himself.
Is Eggman not going to be here, 2 weeks from now? Man.
He'll probably stop being here today, honestly,
Man.
but this is the Eggman's last day.
Caroline giveth.
He will still exist in our content authoring tool as a template.
It's not
NPC.
right, man. It's not right.
I guess I could put him like way underground so that no one can see him, but you'll know he's there, right?
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
I really broke Kevin, man.
I just really like that character. He's really good. But anyway,
He's a good guy.
my adoration for the Eggman aside, we should really head out. We should tune out. Thanks for watching. Let us know if there were any technical issues regarding this. We'll try to settle all of this, and stay tuned for the next stream. Yep. See you guys.
Bye.